How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to ReWrite. So we are here, and last week we were able to meet. We kind of got a bit more info into the whole Gaia organization. First of all, we got its name, Gaia, although it's like a name, but they also are supposed to be like representing Gaia, like the actual like planet. And then we also get these hints that like not only are there multiple factions involved, like I kind of was thinking, but it even seems that our former president of the ORS has her own agenda in all of this, and she pretty much seems to know not only about his powers, but that they're tied directly to the key. So I'm guessing she's planning to use him to lure the key out. Essentially, I think she understands that, like, because of his connection, the key will eventually come to him. And so they just want to keep an eye on him until they can get the key into their power. So that's kind of what I'm guessing is happening. But because of all this insanity that's going on, they've been able to negotiate, and Sakuya saying that he wants to make sure that Kotarou is trained so that he can actually defend himself. So I think that's what we're starting here, is this training montage. So we'll see how this all goes down. I mean, we saw how well the training montage went with Kotarou, so I'm sure this is just gonna go great. Anyway, let's get started. I want you to lay 4 cards on the table.
それでは千早さん。
Wait.
はい。
What is this?
トランプのスピードというゲームですが、与太郎くんはそんなものも知りませんでしたか。これは失敬。
Alright, so, speed. I grew up playing a card game that was speed, but I think it's different from this card game. I'm pretty sure I've seen this in anime, though. It's like, I don't understand the rules of it. It's like you flip the cards, and if you see like a pair or something, you're supposed to like like bat them away really fast. I don't know. I'm not sure how the game works, so hopefully he'll actually explain it. My sarcasm detector's working just fine, thanks.
まずは私と一戦やってみてください。
Sure.
じゃあ、レディー、ゴー！
止まりましたね。
Sakuya got rid of 4 or 5 cards in the time it took me to process 1.
どうぞ。
I put the next card on the pile. And it's over. How am I supposed to win?
面白いくらい惨敗ですね。
Like, can you do better too? Like, am I literally just like a fish here?
まあ予想通りといえばそうですが、与太郎くんは右手しか動いていませんよ。
Huh? I did.
左手でカードを押さえているにもかかわらず、右手でばかり出そうとする。両手が使えれば、効率は2倍になるはずですが。
Oh, that's fair.
右手怪我したら不便ですしね。
I guess it would be.
両手を同時に強化するということは、そういう利点ができるというわけですよ。ここから先、あなたに利き腕という概念は不要です。差がつかぬように、両方同時に強化していくべきですね。
That's a good point. I mean, it's gotta be insanely difficult to train yourself to be an ambidextrous, but the benefits of doing so really are pretty solid, especially if you're gonna be in a combat situation. I think back to the black dog encounter. I only used my right hand to attack then too. I guess I'll give it a shot.
昨日言ったことは覚えていますか？
I know. Don't go strengthening body parts all willy-nilly.
するなと言っているわけではありませんが。
I sure as hell sounded like it to me. The way you acted like all coy is so annoying.
そういうものです。聞かずに取り返しのつかないことになるなら、聞いて知った方がまだいいでしょう。
Point taken.
それと、決して一気に大幅な強化などは行わないでください。
Which, in our realm, in this playthrough, like, because I avoided it so much, that's exactly what we ended up doing. True. Without proper balance, I might run into another situation like my lopsided arm.
それに、今のあなたには負担が大きすぎる。
Oh, the truth hurts. What do you want me to do about it?
大幅がダメなら小幅にすればいいんじゃないです？
そうですね。そういうことです。
That's all I have to do?
100kg ウェイトの衝撃があるとします。これを一挙に受けるのと、1kg ウェイトを100回受けるのとでは、どちらがダメージを負うでしょうか？
He's got a good point there, actually. That's a really good way to break it down. I see. Getting poked 100 times with my fingertips would probably do less damage than getting punched once.
そういうことです。 心を鋭く、針のように、そのどこまでも細い針の先で、線を上書くように。
Okay. Which means I can't just keep doing what I've been doing. I visualize it. A vertical line with a needle. I can't quite picture it. There's been a lot to talk about visualization, mindfulness, and quiet rage, but all these are difficult concepts for short attention spans of modern people. I don't think that's true. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, we hear about this concept all the time. This short attention span. Like, I don't really think that's very real. If you look at a lot of the cultural stuff that happened in the past couple hundred years, people always had attention span issues. Granted, they didn't have the access to instant gratification that we have nowadays with the internet, with phones, with all that stuff, but I guarantee you that if they had them then, they'd be just as bad as us. Like, it's not like it was some kind of special thing that got lost. In fact, if you look back in time, in history, go back 100, like I said, go back 100 years, look at like what adults and children were doing at that time. They would do whatever they could to just push away boredom. It was they invented entire games out of nothing just to try and entertain themselves. You know, the only reason we don't do that is because we don't have to. We have way too many things trying to entertain us. So it's a different war altogether. And then the other idea also is just that, like, when you really look at the stories of histories, and like I said, 100 years ago, so that'd be like in the 20s, the roaring 20s, it's a good example of like, people just did the same crap they do today. Give them money, give them resources, give them time, people do the exact same things. It just feels different because we remember the past differently, and it feels like we have a lot more going on than we remembered when we were kids. But at the same time, also, a lot of us who think like that are also kind of encroaching on adulthood now. And I'd argue that the bigger difference is not that there's just more distractions nowadays. It's just the fact that we're now more adults, and when we were kids, simple things used to hold our attention for a lot longer than they do now. That's a maturity issue. That's an aging issue. It has nothing to do with an attention span. I think that the only other issue is that because information, activities, and like opportunities are just so much more common, and you have so much more easy access, that makes it more difficult to just like knuckle down and force yourself to become dedicatedly good at something. Because as soon as things get hard, you have other options. Maybe that's the closest thing to it, but again, I don't think that's a symptom of a human, or of us like degrading as a society in a way. I think it's just more of a bountiful choices. Because you also could look at like, yeah, sure, maybe we abandon activities faster than our ancestors would have. At the same time, we also see people who are able to hone themselves into skill sets that are just almost like perfect for them, you know? Like when we didn't have computers, think about all the people who grew up in like the 1800s who would have been amazing programmers, but because there was nothing like programming, their only options was like farming and farming and farming. And it's like, sure, not everyone's gonna be great or enjoy farming, but when that's your only choice, you don't really have another option, so you just farm and you make the most of it, right? Nowadays, we can specialize, and the more we can become specialized in our culture, the more it feels like we get more, like, less attention spanny. But I think that's just a result of bountiful times and a more promising future and more opportunity. That's really all it is. Do I have to do it Sakuya's way? Different people have different ways of focusing. What about me? I've always thought of it as stepping on gas. But that's not enough. The engine would stall. I have to be more precise, like a needle. Clock. Time. That's it. I imagine myself stepping on the gas. The needle shakes. But it isn't the needle of the speedometer. Excuse me. It's a clock. I can see it now. A clock with nothing but an hour hand. Hey, that's what's in the corner. Then the minute hand shows up. Thinner. The second hand. Okay. Did it work?
左手、膨らみましたね。
Seriously? I compare my hands. The crease is perfectly matched now. Yes, I did it, Chihaya! Joy has returned to my life.
それは良かったですね。
だいたいいいでしょう。その感覚を忘れないでください。
Yeah. Alright. Now that I have a moment to think. Why do you know so much about this, Sakuya?
さあ、それは秘密です。
Oh, come on. You gotta let me know a little. Then I'll ask the one who's liable to inadvertently tell me.
私は知りません。
Are you sure?
いや、そりゃ多少は知ってますけど。
I can't believe you lied to me.
そんな子供みたいなこと言われても。
Though I can guess the reason at this point. You have superpowers too.
そうですね。それはある意味正解です。ただし、半分ですね。
What's that supposed to mean?
真実は自分で探してください。
Yeah, but you're the only one who knows. Oh, he said. So we said you have superpowers too. He said that's half right. He's like, I think Sakuya has superpowers. I think Kotarou doesn't. That's what he might be implying. Like he might also know about the source of the power not being from Kotarou. It's from the key, and so that's why he's saying like, you're only half right. I have superpowers, but it's not. We have superpowers.
まあ、さまつなことですね。
I don't like having secrets between us if we're going to be doing stuff together from now on.
あなたも同じだったでしょ。
Just got me there.
さて、それよりまずは。
We're doing cards again?
楽しいでしょ。
He grins while dexterously shuffling the deck.
じゃあ、私が今度はやります。
Oh no, this battle's between me and him.
意地になってるじゃないですか。
Unfortunately, this is all part of the training.
まあ、見てても楽しいからいいですけど。
では、始めましょうか。
Aw, look at that. Okay, gotta say, Kotarou, upset. That's because he's gonna lose. Chihaya, adorable. She is the queen of adorable. I gotta admit, like, I still think I prefer Kotarou, but she's pretty adorable. Like, look at that smile. Yeah!
その程度ではまだまだですね。
Take it again!
小太郎、まだ右手に頼ってますよ。
Really? Oh.
ではハンデを上げましょう。10秒、開始から待ってあげます。
Are you serious? No take backs. Yeah! Ah, no eights!
10秒です。
Crap!
二人とも頑張ってください。
Oh!
あ、小太郎、それ数字違います。
Ah, crap.
目はいい方ですから。
まだまだですね。
ズルして勝ってもしょうがないですよ。
I wasn't cheating, I just messed up.
判断力が甘い。考えてから動かなければ正常な動作はできませんが、体の反射も鋭くなければ。
So he's like, he's gotta get better at thinking, but then he can't. This is the problem I have, is like, you can't let your thinking, like, freeze you. Sometimes, often you can only do one or the other. And unfortunately, the best manifestation I have for this is the fact that, like, I can't type on, like, my phone or in the computer and talk at the same time. If I try, I end up typing what I'm saying, or I end up saying what I'm typing. I can't, like, separate those tracks of thought, and that's something I've always wished I could do. So that's why we're training.
まあ、楽しいでしょ。
My arms are getting really tired.
じゃあもう一回です。ゴー！
Ah!
おほう。これはハンデを5秒にしてもいいかもしれませんね。
Yes, my first win.
甘い。
Yeah, that's barely a second.
サクヤは強いですよ。
It doesn't cover it. His speed is inhuman. The rounds end within 30 seconds. And so, training ends without me neither netting a single win. I don't know why I say neating all the time. Netting.
楽しかったですね。
Yeah. Chihaya and I are now playing a casual game of President. Sakuya stepped away to prepare dinner. I'm so beat.
特訓ですから。
I don't feel like I got any stronger though. That's an 11 back, so you have to play something lower than a 10.
なんですそれ。
Local rules. Decision speed. I do feel like I have more options now. I wriggle and squeeze my free left hand. It does feel like my fingers are more sensitive.
でも、なんか変な感じですね。
What, the local rule?
いえ、カードじゃなくて、小太郎がうちに普通に住んでて、二人でトランプやってることです。
That is really weird though. Like, I think it's kind of funny because it's like, it makes sense why it's happening, but it's also, it would be really weird. Guess that's true. So many strange things are happening consistently that I've gotten to the point of accepting it without a second thought. Yeah, why are we playing president with such a solemn mood?
粛々とはしてないですけど。でも、結構楽しいですよ。
Aww. Really?
割とですけど。
I guess this would be a lot more fun if we had more people to play with, like on a field trip.
行ったことないですし。
Seriously?
まともに学校通ったこともありませんし。魔物使いでしたから、私は。
Which means this girl's experienced even less youth than I have. I'm more fortunate than I thought. You know, we could have had a camping trip with the RS. It would have been fun. Hell, we could have even thrown Yoshino and Sakuya into the mix.
そうかもしれませんね。
She's right. It would have been so much fun. So what the hell is all this now? The Earth will be destroyed. Suzuru and Lucia are our enemies? Familiars? Ability users? It's all absurd. But that's the reality of it. Let's go another round. Hi! Aw, I don't know why, but if Chihaya's thinking something is fun, then I want to help her have fun too. By the way.
Hi?
You said you were a summoner.
そうですけど。
Can you summon your familiars quickly?
簡単なのならすぐに。でも、結構いろいろ大変なので、あんまり見せびらかしたりはできないです。
Yeah, so I guess I was right on that point. Like, I don't know 100% yet, but my guess was that she was a core summoner because her vitality, her strength, makes it so that she can summon like a lot more than most people. Because Kotarou made it sound like normal people without access to the well would struggle to have one summon, let alone multiple, because it would draw on their life force. But when she's got so much just raw life force power in her body, she could probably do a miniature army. Oh, so you have something like an MP system.
寿命みたいです。
What?
正確にはもっと生命エネルギー的なものだと言われてますけど、少なくとも大きい魔物とか呼び出しまくってる人は間違いなく早死にしてます。
Dang. Are you serious?
大丈夫ですよ。私は使い方とかちゃんと知ってますから。
I hope
プロ
so.
ですし。
Because like I also kind of worry too. Because I remember she's like, oh, I'm a summoner, so I didn't go to school. It's like they get people who have this capability, right? And then they purposely cultize them, where they prevent them from interacting with people outside, demonize anyone who's outside the organization, and make them feel committed to everything the organization does to the point of their livelihood. So then they can manipulate them and use them for their powers and make them die young, essentially, exploiting their powers and their own life against them. That seems real sketch. That seems super sketch. But
お二人とも。
coming.
どうしたんです？
Don't use it so much.
だから大丈夫ですってば。
But I can't help worrying. Me neither, man. Dinner is white fish with manure, I don't know what that is, sauce, potato soup, and a side of asparagus salad. Oh, that sounds lovely. It's a little annoying how delicious and classy the food is. Chihaya goes to her room after dinner. Oh, I'm stuffed. I roll on the couch in the living room.
いいご身分な様子で何よりです。
I can clean the dishes if you want.
今のあなたには任せられませんね。
Then I'll continue rolling on the sofa. I'm thinking of getting some exercise after this.
そうですか。0時までにはお戻りになられますよ。
You're being strangely reasonable. You know that?
千早さんがあなたと一緒に行動することを望んでいるようですから。ならば私はそのようにするだけです。
Okay, first of all, how do you know that so specifically? Like, why is midnight so important? And secondly, are you sure you're okay with that? I would assume that would mean you'd want me to be as exhausted as possible so I'd be miserable to be around, thus she might not want to be around me anymore. Uh-huh. I think he mentioned that he and Chihaya weren't in a romantic relationship. I thought you liked Chihaya.
好きですよ。溺愛しているほどに。
That's not what I mean.
恋愛的な意味でですか？
Yeah.
ライバル潰しですか？姑息ですね。
No, although I can't deny that's part of it.
正直ですね。
I'm too immature to beat around the bush.
そういうつもりは全くないのでご安心を。
Why not? I kind of agree, actually. It's like, if you seem to adore her.
娘に手を出す父親は異常者ですよ。
That can't be real. Right. So you're all dried up?
そうですね。枯れています。それに私には、そんな資格はありません。では、与太郎くんも、夜道の曲がり角にはお気をつけて。
Yeah, yeah.
そうそう。ちょっとテストでもしましょうか。
What?
行きます。
Sakuya cuts a pack of cards. Oh, fetch! And now he's throwing them at me. 1 second feels like forever. I brush away the cards that are about to hit me. No. One of the cards in Sakuya's hand is coming at my neck. The ace of spades. This is the one. I grab the card midair. 2. I stack 2 on top of the ace.
いいでしょう。千早さんの足手まとい程度にはなれそうですね。
Okay, so he invented a game where we were able to like think on our feet enough and be like, oh wait, let's try and sequence as many as we can. So he grabbed the ace, put it down, grabbed a 2, put it down. He was able to like dodge them whilst also trying to organize them. I'm guessing Sakuya, if really wanted to, could probably like organize like essentially a full stack, maybe even by set. What are you talking about?
以前の小太郎くんなら、瞬殺されて終わりなので。
Seriously?
もともとあなたは、それほどの強化をすでに施しているのですよ。あなたは超人であることを自覚するべきでした。そのためには。
Oh, and maybe it's about frame of reference too. Because with Kotarou, he knew he was really strong, but he kind of just assumed that would fill in the gaps of what he wanted, right? He was just like, oh, okay, I'll do this, and then, my strength will carry me. But Sakuya is saying, like, no, you gotta practice. You gotta actually, like, really strategize and think about how you approach things. And so now, he's improved a lot, but that's because his capabilities were always high, but because he was always so scared of his powers, he kind of avoided them and never actually practiced with them until he needed them, which isn't practicing. So, okay, yeah. I can kind of see that. You want me to interact with other superhumans?
そうですね。
I didn't think I was capable of these moves before playing cards with Sakuya.
では、千早さんをよろしくお願いします。
Okay, wait, okay, what's up with this, man? That just sounds so much unlike you. I really, what? My care? His sudden acceptance makes me feel uneasy. I freaking agree. What the fetch? What's with the change of heart?
千早さんは、あなたと一緒にいるのがお好きなご様子で。
Okay. I can maybe understand you accepting maybe potential inevitability, but hey, we're also talking about a person. She still has to make these decisions, right? It's not like you were giving your permission to allow it to happen.
この町に来てからの千早さんは、とてもよく笑うようになりました。
Aw, that would make you feel really good, though.
あの顔を見ていたら、止めることなど私にはできません。千早さんの望むことを、固くなに否定することは、私の主義に反します。
I'd be like, for what it's worth, I'm sorry, it's me. I feel like, I understand that must be the worst part of it.
ま、別にあなたのことは嫌いなんですが。
Right. Of course. Sakuya isn't the world's leading Chihayist for nothing.
では。
Sure, and you can count on me. I give Sakuya a reassuring nod as he leaves the living room. I don't know how it happened, but he's actually rooting for me. Is he plotting something? I know, right? Still don't trust him. Here's the thing. If I were to say what my stance is on Sakuya, I trust him in the sense that I don't think he's going to betray us. I don't think he's going to try and kill us. And I actually would assume that he would probably throw his life away for Chihaya, obviously, but possibly even for us because he'd be worried what would happen to Chihaya if we got hurt. So maybe his motivation isn't the most altruistic towards us, but I still think he's kind of committed to keeping us safe, right? But I'm terrified of what that means because it almost feels like he's preparing to throw his life away now. Where before I didn't really get that impression. Like I got the impression he would if he had to for Chihaya. But I feel like now he's like decided it's going to happen. And that's scary. I get up. This house is huge. Chihaya and Sakuya live in this house, just the two of them. It's impossible to think that nothing is happening between them. I let my thoughts run wild. Let's say Sakuya is an actual rival. Look, Sakuya is much better than me. Looks, Sakuya greater than me. Reliability, Sakuya greater than me. Ability to do chores, Sakuya greater than me. Physical strength, Sakuya. Yearly income, unemployed equals student, so negligible. This is bad, I can't beat him in anything. Come on, isn't there anything I can be competitive at? I guess it'd have to be love?
Ai?
Ah! Whoa! Chihaya appears next to me while I'm racking my brain with worry.
そろそろ出るかなと思ったんですけど。
Oh, you know.
やっぱり悩んでるんです？
Is what bothering me?
いえ、滅びとか言われても、小太郎じゃどうしたらいいかわからないんじゃないかなって。
Oh, that. Honestly, it still doesn't feel real to me.
そうですか。
If anything, I'm more bothered by the girl in front of me. Honestly, I probably like her. I don't know, dude. It seems pretty obvious to me. But why? I'm not nervous in the slightest. The two of us step outside. Yep. Let's change the mood a bit.
今日はどこへ行くんです？
I'm thinking the park.
はあ。
Times like these, we might as well revisit the scene of the crime. God only knows what we'll find, or what will find us there. Oh, right, the trap. The self-made trap that we're building here. The park is disturbingly quiet compared to how lively it was in the afternoon. The trees loom over us, the shadows they cast as if they have a life of their own. The flickering streetlights seem like a comfort now. I remember the depths of the forest. You want to know something?
何です？
I'm beginning to think that people aren't made to live in the forest. The darkness of the woods is terrifying.
そんなことないです。昼間の森は涼しくて気持ちいいです。
I love the forest. I wouldn't mind living in it, but I think if I were alone in the wild, having to like fend for myself, it would be pretty terrifying. Although I would still take it over the desert, or the frozen tundra, or like the jungle. Yeah, forest is pretty nice. Fair point. I guess there's always two sides to every coin, and we can't determine the worth just by looking at one side. But regardless, dark places are scary, you know?
怖いんです？
Who knows what familiar or monster might be lurking in the dark?
すぐ近くにはいないみたいですけど、ちょっと見てきます？
What?
先行って、私がいないか見てきてあげます。安全確保です。
That's crazy that she could just like, I can see better than you. Because remember, Kotarou is like, with his abilities this enhanced, like he practically can see in the dark. So she must have no issues. Whoa, wait, hold on.
じゃあ、待っててください。
No, wait, please don't leave me. Oh my gosh. And so Chihaya runs ahead with the tune on her lips. Oh my gosh. She really is some kind of idiot. If she wants me to be safe, she shouldn't leave me alone like this. Anyway, I hustle toward the unsteady lights. Insects are buzzing under the white fluorescent glow. Got a bad feeling about this. Uh-oh. We got Star Wars. I powered up since last time. Should be strong enough to handle a dog or two. Did I enhance myself? Probably won't hurt, really. But I'd be making problems for myself by over-enhancing. I don't enhance myself for the sole purpose of defeating my enemies. I'm doing it to protect myself. I can't get my intentions mixed up. I don't fight for the sake of fighting, I fight to protect something, someone. That's not. I understand why Sakuya is training me now. It's so that I can use the strength I already have. I can enhance myself if it's not enough, in very small increments if I have to. I should keep that in mind from now on. Yep. I grabbed the wings of a bug between my thumb and index finger. Sorry, buddy. Just needed a test run. I release it, and it buzzes away. I've enhanced myself to the point where it's darn near comical. When's Chihaya coming back? What if something happened to her already? It's a possibility. Should go look for her. Oh. Suddenly I hear a flapping of wings. What is that? Pigeons? At this time of day? No way. Oh boy. An enemy? Silence. So, it's either familiar, which actually if it's bird familiar, I would think it's Kotori. Could be bats. Could be giant dragon demon. You know, all kinds. And then a voice.
見つけたぞ。
Ew! May I ask who's speaking?
許さん。
I was hoping you would let me leave, actually.
許せぬ。今、断罪の時、死ぬがいい。
The shadow zips by me. It's really fast. But I've seen this before.
見さらせ俺の新容疑必殺
I grabbed the fluttering thing.
この俺の新容疑前回よりも3倍以上の速さに昇華した必殺技をあっさりと
I was really worried about these guys. Thank you for actually being here. Hey.
はい
Don't just show up when things are actually terrifying, Pipsqueak. I swing him around while holding onto him by the head.
いやーごめんなさいマジ俺がすんませんでした
Things never change.
見つけましたわひどいですわよ小太郎さん
Honey, hi. I thought you would have noticed when we were leaving. Oh, right. No wonder I felt like I was forgetting something.
まあ居候の立場だったのは私たちでしたけどせめてどこかへ行くなら伝えてからにしていただきたかったですわ
Sorry, things have been hectic for me lately.
悪いで済むかこっちだって超怖かったんだぞ
I bet you were. Oh, what happened?
小太郎さんの部屋に訪問者が
Uh-oh. People.
そのちょっと家探しなどをされて荒らされましたわ
Two organizations are after me. Either Gaia or the enemy, the ones Suzuru and Lucia belong to. What were they like?
はあ
I've already been told about the familiars. I know what they've been dragging I know what I've been dragged into.
そうでしたのじゃあもうお前の周りも危険地帯
Yeah, trust me. Danger zone?
だってお前魔物使いに狙われてんだぞやばいって絶対やばい
I see. Lunch officers then. I guess the enemies aren't as blatant with their tactics. But why my room? And did this just happen today?
今日ですわ
If it is summoners then, what's the connection? The only thing I can think of is the fact that we had visits from the key in our room. So maybe they're just following the impressions of her.
追い出されなきゃ出てこねえよ普通部屋にずっとこもっててに決まってるだろ
Spoken like a true shut-in.
大体よなんでお前こんな危ねえとこうろついてんだよこの先犬がいっぱい集まってますわ
What? Dogs. Dogs as in black dogs. Crap. Chihiya's in trouble.
お前行ったら死ぬぞ
No, I won't. Wrist blade activate. Now that we know it's blood, though.
小太郎さん何ですのそれ
I'll explain later. There should be enough to kill those darn dogs.
マジかよかっけ
Let's go, boys. Oh, there you are. They're here. What do I do? I won't be able to sustain a giant blade for long. In that case, put my hands together. Just kill you in one hit. One giant sword comes out of my hands. I can split the thing in half this way. The sword is weightless. In this wide open space, I can swing it around all I want without worrying about hitting anything but my target. Nice! Got him. It worked.
ひゅやっぱり両手剣は勇者の象徴だぜ
Oh, yeah, he's such a big fan. A hammer would work as a giant weapon too, I guess, but that's so lame. Okay, that's enough talking. I have to hurry.
待ってくださいませ危険ですわ
What is?
その剣をしまってくださいませ目立ちすぎますわ
Uh-oh. Oh, I never thought about that. It might be like a beacon. Especially for Gaia. Oh. Oh, right.
なんかあんのいっぱいいるんですのよ
How many are there? 4 or 5? I can handle that many now.
いえ
Oh, no. I do as Penny says and approach slowly. I spot several dogs. I should climb one of the trees. I know. There's something I've been wanting to try. I take out Roar again. I extend it. Okay. And it turns into a whip. Come on. Throw out a branch overhead, it wraps tightly around it. That works. I can now move the Aurora Whip. I can move the Aurora Whip around. I tug and it pulls me up toward the branch.
へえ、便利じゃね。
That's some pretty cool application. I know.
だから見つかってしまいますわよ。
Okay. I put it away. I'm starting to get the used to the motion now. Alright. I squint at the spot where the dogs are gathering. That's way more than 4 or 5. There's 20 or 30 of them at least. Can I take them on? The answer would be no. I'm not strong enough to come out of a brawl like that in one piece. Okay, this is bad. Then I notice a figure in the middle of the pack. Ooh. I squint my eyes. Alright, we've seen him before, I think. Red coat with a hoodie. I've seen this guy before. Were there 2 of them last time they showed up with a pack of black dogs? So he's the summoner. Now that I think about it, weird things were always happening, even when I was still with the RS. What is he doing with that many dogs? Can I hear him? I perk up my ears.
収穫はなしか。
いや、ターゲットの居住場所にわずかだが痕跡があった。
So they are looking for us, and these were the guys that were at our house.
何？余計な手間かけさせやがって。
貴様はこいつらを暴れさせたかっただけだろ。
俺は警告してやったんだよ。この平和ボケした国だ。てめえらの命なんざポクッとどっかに行っちまうってことをな。
I mean, fair, but at the same time, eh.
ミド。
天馬、てめえはどうだ？
くだらん。
そうかよ。ムカつくんだよな。
What are they talking about? Anyway, guy in the red hood is Mido, and the one and the one in a similar hood but slightly taller is Tenma.
おい、あいつらは。
You know them?
逃げろ。やばすぎる。
Huh?
あいつら、御堂に天神天魔だ。俺たちのいた研究所でも最悪の試験者。
At the facility? What's the facility?
見つかったら絶対死ぬ。
Facility? Like a research facility?
いいから逃げろって。
I don't understand.
ああ、逃げるんだ逃げるんだ逃げるんだ。早く、本当にまずいんですわ。
Come on, do it.
ん？
Oh no.
どうした？
野良犬。いや、野良猫が迷い込んでいるようだ。
Crap.
ほう？
They've noticed us.
お前、天王寺小太郎か。
We're busted. I jump down from the tree and confront the 3 men. Or just run!
まさか野良猫が単身自ら網にかかりに来るとは。間抜けな野良猫だ。
だからムカつくんだ。この国の連中、危機感が全くねえ。夜の7にのこのこ迷い込んでくる奴がどこにいる？犬が声太ってしょうがねえ。
That's not how those summons work. Mido looks over at a black dog at his side. Black dog? No, this one's slightly different. There's a tinge of red in its black fur.
食事後のこいつは盛ってな。もう言うことも聞かねえ。
A meal.
なんだかよくわからないもの。死んだらドロドロになるでしょ。そういう感じ。
Yeah. Is that thing connected to the red stuff somehow? Red. Blood. There it is. You're the ones behind the mysterious deaths.
事件？
救いがたい。
そうかよ。本当にてめえらは何も知らねえのかい。
Why does this sprite look like way less detailed? Like, I feel like it's like the quality took a dip for him. What's so funny? You killed people. What's so darn funny, you murderers?
おかしい？俺たちは命のやり取りをする世界で生きている。その通りに生きて何がおかしい？
What a great justification. People die all the time. What's the matter? We end up being the reason. Huh. I'm at a loss for words. What can you say to people who are clearly deranged?
ミド。
ムカつくんだよ。
まあいい。天王寺小太郎。
The key.
鍵は任せたわ。もうお前の手の中にある。
Literally, it's been in your hands. I remember Akane saying that, but there was nothing in my hands back then. And even if there were, you can't have it.
そうだろうな。
まずい。
なんだ。
奴が来た。
捨ておけと言いたいところだが。
我々は身を引くべきだ。
命拾いをしたな、野良猫。次に会う時までには、その震えを抑えられるようにしておくこったな。
I mean, did they buckle? We confronted you. And then I noticed it. My legs are shaking. Oh, okay.
急ぐぞ、ミド。
Tenma walks away, black dogs in tow.
おっと、そうだ。こいつは連れていけねえんだ。仲良くしてやってくれ。次に会う時ミンチじゃ笑い話にもならねえ。
Crap. Wait. Can you do anything about but copy these things from a template? My sword. Uh-oh, that's so fast! Block and counter. It's probably gonna get us. Dodge, it's fast. It's probably gonna get us. I don't know if there's any difference here. Just in case, how about we do a safety save? Dodge. Come on! I jumped to the side to dodge its teeth. Nope. Fire suddenly tears through my entire body. Pain. My side's been ripped away by its fangs. My consciousness immediately fades. I think I understand what happened. That thing instantly took a bite out of my side. Dodged, but immediately reacted to that. Messed up. I'm dying. There we go. I found a bad ending, everyone! I'm sorry. I kinda knew, but I picked the wrong one. I'm so sad. No. This is nothing compared to the cards Sakuya deals. Not today! I strike the dog's side. The red hound crumples without so much of a whimper. Now... Gotcha! The red hound gets back up and runs toward me. The thing moves faster than its black counterparts. Is it blood? Of course. This one's eaten people before. Humans. I start shaking again for some reason. Why now? This isn't my first time fighting familiars, but it's not the same. I'm not just facing a familiar. I am also fighting for my life. The encounter will determine whether I get to go on living. And that scares me. Whoa! I fended off with the tip of my sword. No! I should have blocked and countered just now. No, no, no! I need to calm down. I can do this. But the more I try to think, the muddier my mind becomes. Crap! A lunges, taking me down. I hold it at bay with my right hand. The red dog snaps its fangs at my throat. I push back against its throat with my left hand. I can hear the dog snarling. One hand's not enough. I gotta use my other hand. This keeps going. I'm going to be killed. Oh, Gil! What? Gil flies into the hound's face. The dog tries to swat Gil away, taking a paw off my right hand. Oh! Thrust with the sword to my right hand. Yeah! I place my left hand on it. And then cut the thing through the sides. Finally. The dog disintegrates with a howl straight out of hell. I did it. Gil, you're a freaking hero. I'm covered in the dog's fluids. It stinks. Huh? Whoa! Blood. Probably the blood of the people this thing ate. I get up, shuffle off my coat, and toss it to the ground. What? Oh, yeah. I calm myself down. I've never seen so much blood in my life. On top of that, I've never felt something that wanted to kill me that much before. True enough. Thanks, Gil. You saved me there. Come on, man, accept it.
でも幸いでしたわ。あいつらの操る魔物がこの程度で。
Oh, that wasn't the strong one? Wait, so you're saying they were actually stronger familiars? I did see a huge green dragon back in the forest, but I never thought that could be controlled like these dogs.
あの3人の魔物使い、それぞれ研究所では恐ろしい魔物を操ってましたわ。
Oh my gosh. Seriously? The dog gave me enough trouble. Well, we'll worry about that later. I retrieved my drenched coat. So gross. Let's get out of here.
おい、お前今どこに住んでんだ？
A classmate's place.
私たちもそっちに移って大丈夫なのかしら？
I'd be like, yeah, but keep in mind, they're pretty strong and very smart. They might be able to see you. Don't see a problem with it. The owner's a summoner anyway. Yeah, they're like, are you serious? But she's not like the ones we just ran into. Explaining every last detail is going to take a while.
そっか、外ではいろいろめんどくせえことになってんだな。
Yeah, tell me about it.
でも、かくまってもらえるなら安心ですわ。
Thank you, Penny. Always being a bright spot of sunshine. I walked back to the park while explaining the circumstances. Where did Chihaya go?
見つけました！人だ！隠れませんと！
The two flipped behind my head. It's okay, she's on our side.
そうか。うわ！小太郎血だらけじゃないですか！
Yeah, ran into a bit of a predicament earlier.
大丈夫なんです？
I'm fine, it's not my blood. Anyway, can't believe you just left me like that.
いいじゃないですか。無事で何よりです。
Sakuya suddenly materializes behind me. When did you get here?
さあ、さまつなことですね。
Was he there the whole time just watching? Aw, man. Did you get worried and follow us?
さまつなことです。
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's probably what happened.
ところで、小太郎くんの頭にしがみついているのは何です？
キルちゃん、心の声が漏れてますわ。なんです？かわいいですね。
I think they're familiars.
小太郎くんのです。
I can't say I'm controlling them. I think they're strays.
ノラ？そんな魔物いるわけが。
I don't know. Gil's gonna die!
どうしましたの？めっさかわいい。
Maybe they are our familiars. They could be manifestations of Kotaru's subconscious. That would actually kind of make sense.
私です。僕、ギルです。ギルティのギルです。
Oh, you get out of here!
お名前を聞かせ。
Get out of here!
いや、
Piss off! That one's mine! Oh, whoops.
いつから小太郎のものに。
I meant that as a figure of speech.
あまりふざけたことを言っていると本気で死にますよ。
He's like, I just about killed you.
この人につく。もう、なんですの？めちゃくちゃですわ。
そういえば、この魔物、言葉を。
そういえばそうです。
It's not that... It's not mating season for you yet.
もう、話になりませんわ。
The pandemonium continues for a while. I bet it does. Sakuya returns after putting my blood-soaked clothes in the wash.
で、小太郎くんは見事に襲われてきたと。
Yes.
千早さんは小太郎くんを置いて、周辺を探りに行ったと。
待っててって言ったんですよ。
And that only made me worry even more.
心配されるのは小太郎の方じゃないですか。
しかし、千早さんでも危ない相手のようですね。
当然だ。あいつら普通じゃねえ。波の魔物使いじゃ太刀打ちできませんわよ。
で、こちらは小太郎くんの拾った魔物と。
Yeah, in the school's basement, actually.
なるほど。
では、もうすべてお話しした方がよろしいですわね。俺たちはガイアの研究の産物さ。
Okay.
研究って
What?
魔物の研究？
聞いたことがありますね。すでに破棄されたセクションですが。
画期的な魔物の研究ですね。数年前に事故があって危険すぎるってことで中止になったはずです。
Okay.
その事故、俺たちの母体が引き起こしたのさ。兄弟、 かつエネルギーの消費が最も少ない形の魔物の研究でしたわ。
So they wanted to make more powerful weapon familiars, but without being so physically taxing. So you can make more of them without as much cost of life.
そのためには完全なる自我を持つ者の作成が必要。
Gotcha. An ego.
魔物は普通命令されて動くだけのものなんです。
An ego, like id, ego, super ego. Essentially, they're summarizing consciousness. Because id and super ego are meant to be like these higher planes of like thought. You know, id being kind of like the more base, very instinctual, very like I want voice. Where super ego is kind of a source of the morality, the idea of like, you know, boundaries, patience, persistence, goal setting. And they both vie for control. They both scream and kind of counteract each other. And then our ego is essentially our core, where we actually weigh the options that are in our minds and try and find the best course that fits our needs. So when they say they needed an ego, they're essentially saying they needed a consciousness.
全くそういうのがいないわけじゃないですけど、基本的には魔物使いや何かからエネルギーを受けて動くだけですし、多分自我があるってことは、そういうエネルギーを自分で用意しようって気になるってことで。
That's pretty cool. But can I just realize, like, it just hit me, like, halfway through this? It's Chihaya who's breaking down this. Again, it's one of the things where she seems very airheady, she seems very distant and very, like, someone would even claim unintelligent. But then look at this, she, like, knows this stuff intrinsically. So, I wonder if she might be related to these experiments. So it's like their next evolutionary stage.
でも、魔物は子供作ったり、成長したりするわけでもないですしね。
It's interesting though, because at that point, like we actually have counter evidence for that with Kotori, with her parents and with Chibi Moth, who all three of them seemed to be able to kind of start constructing their own egos from their old selves over time, and they kind of evolved into these almost hyper-independent forms.
魔物を使って魔物を作るって発想はしたことあるかい、ジョーちゃん。
Interesting idea, actually. Use familiars to make familiars?
はい？そんなことできるんです？
聞いたことがありませんが。
だから研究してるんだろ。で、それを実験段階まで持ってきたんだ。
ところが、その実験は失敗。
暴れるだけ暴れてすぐに消滅しちまう失敗作ができちまったのさ。
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, if you barely are able to give them a consciousness to begin with, and then to make them demand they take the toll of like trying to create their own, you know, familiars from their own life force, which is already probably fairly unstable, I could understand that being pretty recipe for disaster.
崩壊の寸前、何人かの魔物使いを取り込んでな。
つまり、あなたたちは、その魔物使いと失敗作の合成体ということですか？
Oh, so they're fragments of actual people who have been spliced into familiars. Maybe a single person split into two, which might be why they kept talking about each other as being their other half. Like, it's like one person's consciousness, like, they're talking about ego, so maybe that's what it is. Gil is like the id, and Penny is the super ego of the person who got fractured into kind of pseudo-familiars.
多分そうなんだよ。俺らの記憶は俺らが生まれたと思った瞬間、廃棄された数年間、俺らはずっとゴミの中を漂ってただけのはずなんだ。
Several years. I guess they weren't formed immediately after the failed experiments. It took them several years to reach this form. The egos that would eventually become Gil and Penny wanted to live so much they became familiars.
そういう意味では、私たちが成功だったってことかしらね。
Yeah, but with the cost being that high, I doubt it's something that could be replicated like efficiently. But proof of concept can often lead to better solutions. You're really weak though.
そりゃあおめえ、天は荷物を与えずよ。
Perfect, you mean?
でもすごいです。自我があってエネルギーも自分で供給できる魔物なんて。
It is pretty cool. Like, I'd be super flabbergasted. I'd be like, that's freaking amazing.
そうか。しょうがねえな。じゃあ俺が今度からお前の守護に。
You're bound to me, aren't you?
しまったー。余計なこと言わなきゃよかった。男に二言はね。
Uh-huh.
別にいいですけどね。
しかし、そんな施設があったことは聞いていますが、廃棄物は建物ごと封印されたはず。
But it's that weird echo space that we entered. Might be what they meant by sealed off. They might have just pushed it into like a little reality bubble, maybe?
そんなもんなかったぞ。
なるほど。つまり、今その施設が再起動していると。
Ah, that's interesting.
そうなんです？
いえ、もしかしたら、秘密裏に研究は続いていたのかもしれません。
I wonder if Akane would know.
もちろん、ガイアでは魔物の作成は続いていましたし、技術の進歩もあったとは思うのですが、それにしては近頃、強大な戦闘用魔物の数が増えすぎている。
Okay, so maybe they have found some breakthroughs. Large, you mean like the green dragon I saw last time?
ああいうタイプは長い時間をかけてようやく一匹ってレベルでしか作られないはずなんですよ。
Chihaya is quite knowledgeable about familiars.
でも今日会った3人の魔物使い、
あいつらは私たちが施設から這い出した時に見かけましたわ。多分新型の魔物の実験中でしたのよ。
全員やばいレベルの魔物持ってるぜ。
3匹もです？
I recall the green dragon. Could I really beat that on my own? I was wheezing just trying to survive some black hounds.
はい。
It's nothing. I don't think Chihaya could even do it with her strength. She's incredibly strong and fast as far as humans go, but we're not exactly going up against humans here. Hey.
なんです？
Could you beat that thing if you were attacked by it?
私一人ってことじゃ無理ですけど。
That's terrifying.
勝つには勝てると思います。
As a summoner, you mean?
そうですね。
Wow. Chihaya must have one hell of a familiar up her sleeve. I bet you want to bet it's that T-Rex that we saw at the end of Kotaru's story. And what about you?
私ですか？
Yeah, do you have powerful familiars too?
私は魔物使いではありませんから。
Huh, you're not. Come to think of it, Sakuya seems to be an ability user like myself. Oh, I see. I get it now. No wonder he knows a lot about my powers.
ひとまず、今後はより警戒しつつ、街を歩かなければなりませんね。
But we have stuff to report now. We got names and we have like estimated capabilities. That's a lot of good information we were able to get. Like the plan to draw them out to get information essentially worked beautifully. And we managed to not die in the process. You won't stop me?
あかねさんが暴れろとおっしゃったわけですから、あなたには暴れてもらわないと。
Huh.
じゃあ、頑張って暴れましょう。
Yeah. She's so casual about everything.
で、俺らはどこに住んでりゃいいんだ？そもそも住んでていいものか？
About that, I was hoping you could shelter them too.
そうですね。おそらく、こんなものを自分たちが作ったと知ったら、研究所から真っ先に追っ手が伸びるでしょう。
Can we not talk about them?
存在そのものを知られていなかったのが幸いでしたね。
大変でしたのよ。じゃあ、空き部屋の一つを使ってください。二人で一つでいいですか？部屋丸々一個？クローゼットから急激な躍進ですわ。
The two leave, following Chihaya. Is this really okay?
心配いりません。ここは安全ですよ。
What makes you so sure?
私がいますから。
Those guys from tonight.
はい。
They killed people.
はい。そのようですね。いつまでも給食当番では緊張感がありませんね。強硬派としましょうか。
Right. So they're extremists in the Gaia group.
我々は穏健派ということで。
Yeah.
で、その3人は強硬派の暗殺者か何かでしょうか。ちなみにあなたは人の死を見たことは？当然、命を奪ったことなどないでしょうから。
I've been to a relative's funeral once. Even made it to the crematorium. That was pretty intense for a kid. Saw the body go in, and by the time I came out, only ash and bone were left. Didn't really scare me, just drove home the cold reality of what happens to a human body when you burned it. Still, the sight left me feeling quite gloomy. I wonder who they killed.
まだ何も報道はされていないようです。それに、 ただの行方不明者として扱われた場合は、
I hope it wasn't Inoue.
それほど大きく取り上げられることもありませんよ。
In this path, maybe it was Inoue. So maybe we got revenge for her in a way. Missing persons. How many people have gone missing in Kazamatsuri lately? Won't the city have problems if people keep going missing?
年間、国内だけで行方不明者は10万人ほどと言われています。ここ数年は8万人強といったところを推移しているようですが。
Like, that's one of those statistics that like I've heard about, but like I have to like reconfirm it. It's kind of horrifying how many people just go missing. Oftentimes we just attribute that to people like, oh, they just decide to leave and not tell anybody or whatever, but like, it's shockingly scary to think about, right?
そのうち発見されたのが9割ほど。捜査本部が設置された件数は1300件ほどです。
1,300 cases. Oh my gosh. What is that? 1% at best?
遺体のあるなしは大きいですよ。ただいなくなっただけでは、それほど警察も動いたりはしません。
So if you make sure there's no evidence and nobody reports it, or even if it's reported but like it's reported too late or there's just no trail. So let's say I look into it.
殺されたのが誰かなど。
The familiars of the people killed by the dog will be stuck waiting for them forever. Waiting for a family member who will never come home. The situation sickens me.
人はなぜ死を忌避するのだと思いますか？
What? You mean like getting killed?
自然死についてもです。
It scares us? Because it makes us think about we have to go through it eventually? Well, people don't want to die.
では、自らの命が危険にさらされたとき、相手の命を平然と奪えるものでしょうか？
That's a complicated question. Because when push comes to shove, I think our instincts kick in and we might. But most people would probably still freeze, even in that moment. Can I do that? I mean, I don't know.
そうですね。私にもわかりません。
You say that, but you'd probably have no qualms killing someone if it meant protecting Chihaya.
平気に見えますか？
If your hand was forced, sure.
そうでもありませんよ。
Sakuya gives me a wry smile. Despite that, he's prepared to do it should the situation arise. He never said he couldn't.
私のことなどさまつなことです。ですが、暗殺者という職種は、命のやり取りを平然と行う方たちです。
Right.
小太郎くんは、この国で育ったわけですよね。
Yeah.
けれど、目の前で人が平気で殺される国が、この世には存在します。
That's sadly true.
そんなところで育ったなら、小太郎くんと同じ考え方はしないでしょうね。
Oh, getting into the philosophy stuff. Ugh.
殺さなければ殺される。そんな状況なども、今後は存在するかもしれませんね。
Right. That's awful.
なら簡単です。殺さなければいい。もっとも、そのためには相手を生かしたまま完全に無力化するという、ただ倒すより、はるかに高度な力が必要ですが。
Huh. The more I think about it, what have I been doing? The less I know myself. What would Chihaya do?
千早さんは、心の弱い方です。人の命を自ら奪うことなど、
Yeah.
耐えられないかもしれません。
I think you're right. She's very... She's pure. It's the word for it, right? She's like condensed goodness. It's really weird to say it that way, but she kind of is, you know? Like, Kotori, she was willing and probably had killed people with her familiars. Maybe not with her own hands, yeah, but to try and protect the grove, all those corpses that were like all around her border. It's not entirely hard to believe that she didn't contribute to that in some way. And that nearly destroyed her. But for some reason I feel Chihaya would handle it worse.
ですから、私は千早さんの手を怪我させはしません。私が誰かを守るということは、 そう。
You've kept Chihaya from battles which would end in bloodshed.
はい。
I feel weird for thinking that's reassuring.
小太郎くんも千早さんと同じですね。
I think... Huh?
心が弱い。
Unfortunately, my heart's not the only weak part of me. I don't have the stomach for it either.
そう自虐しないでください。まあ、事実ですが。
Thanks. You're being annoying, Butler.
それは何より。ですが、弱さも貫き通せば、それは強さですよ。
Interesting. So he's saying, like, I've always assumed, like, weakness can become strength by overcoming your weaknesses. But he's saying weaknesses can become strength by sticking by it. So he's saying, like, look at what you consider a weakness and find a way to make it an advantage.
もっとも、今のあなたには、それを貫き通す意志もないように見えますが。
Why did I end up fighting?
おかけん復活させるんじゃないです？
Chihaya returns.
小太郎、そう言ってました。
Did I? I don't remember having said such a thing. I do! I remember him saying that. He didn't say it in those words, but he did say that. Oh yeah, I did! I remember now. Still, I know I have the right intentions. I want to bring those days back. Those days when we could enjoy ourselves. That's all. It's pretty measly as far as intentions go. However, as long as people who throw their weight around like those three exist, these days will never return. I remember what Akane said. Go and change the world. My world, which they threaten to consume. Their world, which I absolutely abhor. Can I really change it? Can I change it with my measly intentions? Well, there is something I can do. Their three factions are all looking out for one thing. The key. What if I just kept it to myself? So what's this key thing like?
残念ながら、私は知らされておりません。
聞いたことないですね。
Is it a weapon to surpass nuclear armaments?
兵器ではないでしょうが、危険度で言えば、軽く凌駕するでしょう。
Is it crazy huge?
そんなバカでかいものだったら、鍵なんてまだるっこしい呼び名ではないでしょう。
It's in my hands, so it's about the size of my palms?
小太郎が持ってるんじゃないんです？
But I don't.
なるほど。
See what?
あなたがそれに一番近かったということですよ。
Me? I try to remember. Was I ever close to anything in the past? I don't know what that means. I mean, my argument here, if I didn't already know what the key was, I'd be like, does that mean Kotori? I would assume that meant Kotori, because she was the one we've been friends with our whole life. Now that I think about it, I ran into some weird situations when I was working alone. There were men in black robes and their black hounds in the strange dimension. Were they looking for the key then? Of course. School. I stepped into that weird dimension without so much as looking for it. But then they wouldn't have found they would have found the key by now. But I can't really think of any other place. Suddenly, the face of the girl in the forest crosses my mind. Was she an ability user? If so, maybe I should check out the forest. No. I'd like to deal with those three first. They might not be at the root of all this, but I doubt I can have a peaceful school life with people like them around. Can't do anything about them myself, but with Chihaya and Sakuya around. School, huh?
明日は登校するんです？
Not exactly. It's the next place I plan to go wild.
目立ちすぎませんか？
It shouldn't be a problem. Press should be able to handle any problems at school. I'd prefer to just go there at night, but maybe I should prep for the morning.
そうですか。では、今日は早めに寝ましょうか。
そうですね。
In the end, I can't help but relying on these two. Maybe I should enhance myself some more. That's the only way I know how to become stronger. Alright, and that's where we're gonna end. A bit of a long episode, but not too bad. It was interesting. Lots of theory crafting here. I really like how we finally got to know more about Gale and Penny. I'm glad they made it back. I was worried that they were just going to be lost to the realms of time, aka I thought they were going to actually be relegated to a different route. Like maybe we got introduced to them on like the approach of this route, but then you'd actually have to do a different route to get to know them more. But I'm glad that they're still here. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. And it's cool to kind of learn a bit more about who they are and what they are and kind of theorize about it. Chihaya, of course, being Chihaya. Still not sure if she's my favorite by far, but at the same time, I do enjoy her as a character a lot. I'm curious to see how this all plays out. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. It's been a pleasure. I've been having some like throat and lung issues with like being sick, but thankfully I managed to get through it without too many coughs or interruptions. I think I'm actually getting better, which is a really good sign, because last time I got sick like this, it got so much worse, and it kind of stopped everything. But so far, I've managed to be okay. So hopefully, we'll get all the videos out for this week and press on through the holiday. But anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for your time, your effort, and especially to the patrons and members to make it possible for me to kind of continue to make better content, to be able to kind of cultivate things, to be stronger, move forward, and hopefully to see new horizons on the channel. There's that cough again. Anyway, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. If you're celebrating the holiday, hope you have a great one. And even if you're not, hope you have a good weekend and good week and all that good stuff. Because all of us should try and enjoy the moments we've got, right? So until the next video, watch me. If you see me next, I'll see you there.